Say you listen, but you're missing what it's all about. Rise up now. If you never fall, you don't change at all. Cry.
Now
I
you
don't
just have
wear
one.
hoops. Yeah.
Hold my hoops.
It's coming off me because I'm not a big enough
Let me
hoe.
see it. Which one is it? You're not a
So
big
how are you
enough
guys
hoe.
feeling about, like, are you back? Are you wanting to get back to travel? Like, how, what is your take on it right now?
I was probably traveling when I shouldn't have really been. When a lot of people, I mean, we went to Cancun last year when I was 7 months pregnant. So I'm like, let's travel. Yeah. But I mean, I'm respectful. I'm the kind of person, you come at me, you can hate me. I really don't wear a mask. I don't care if other people do. I work with Jenna. She wears a mask all the time. If I'm like sitting in her chair or around her, well, I mean, I'm around you right now and I'm not in a mask.
Yeah. I make exceptions for the podcast.
But I mean, yeah, I'm at the point, like, California is now on again the mask mandate, and I go into places and I do not wear a mask. I'm like one of the only people, and I'm not a dick about it though. Okay, I just want to make that clear because there are people who like yell at you and spit in your face, and I just think that that's wrong.
Or make fun of people that wear them.
Yeah, that's not cool. Like, you know what? I personally don't want to wear one. I don't feel that I need to. I'm fine. I've already had it. I'm good. Get off me. I had a horrible experience the other day of this place. I do. You know what? Screw them. I want to call them out. European Wax Center. I will never go back there. I'm so pissed at them.
Tell us about it.
So I
what
walked
happened?
in and the lady's like, oh, we require a mask. And I just looked at her and I said, I'm not wearing a mask. I said, I'm good, thank you. And she's like, oh, I have one for you though. We do require it. And I said, I have a medical exemption. They, according to HIPAA,
don't care anymore.
medical professionals have told me this. According to HIPAA, they cannot ask you about anything if you say that you have a medical exemption. So I just said, oh, I have a medical exemption, just to like get her off my back. And first off, they weren't waxing my face, okay? Like, they were the farthest thing away from my face. Like, you're fine.
The furthest away would have been your toes. I'm pretty sure you got your beaver waxed.
Beaver?
Yeah, your beaver. Your vagina. Your puss.
I know what you're talking about. Just call it a beaver.
Keep going,
It's
Krista.
like beavers have like
Tic-tac.
big teeth.
Your TikTok.
Your vagina.
Your
Your JJ.
That's what I say.
Yeah, the
JJ.
JJ.
Your
Like,
clam.
let's call it cute names, not like a clam or a beaver. I think we asked people one time, what do they call it? I don't know. Your hoo-ha.
Your hoo-ha.
Your hoochie coochie.
Yeah, have it be cute, like a feminine name.
I'll call my shit whatever. Well, I was talking about yours, I guess, though.
Yeah.
I'll call it a
She's
beaver.
classy.
Whatever.
She ain't
Oh
no
my
beaver.
gosh. Once you finish your story, I have to tell
Okay.
you a funny story at the nail salon.
Not your beaver?
Not mine.
Okay. Oh.
This the other lady. I was
Okay,
sitting next
so
to.
to wrap it up, basically, the girl left me alone. My waxing specialist came out, got me, went in the room with her, shut the door. The manager came and knocked on the door, and we're like, yeah. She goes, I need to speak to the customer in there.
Oh, she went and told on you.
Yeah. So then we like opened the door, and she's like, do you have proof of your medical vaccination? Bang, 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 bang. And I
all
was
HIPAA,
like,
hello.
I was like, yeah, HIPAA. You can't ask me that, lady. And my
What'd you say?
waxing lady.
They can refuse to do your service though.
They can.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it wasn't the service provider who cared. It was the
Yeah,
manager
but
who cared.
I-
and I
I
was in
guess
a
I'm-
room shut with the
Yeah, I
service
have a hard time
provider.
with that.
Right?
As a business owner, I have a hard time with that. Because like if somebody did that to me, I'd be like, this is what I'm requiring.
But the service provider is
Doesn't
the one
matter. The
who-
service provider isn't going to get in
She's-
trouble. The business owner is.
I guess, and they're a chain, so like I get it. But basically what happened was the service provider was like, "Oh, look, I have a mask for her. It's fine." I was like, "There you go." So we shut the door, and she didn't make me wear it. And so when we came out, I thought I'll just put it on to appease them so I can check out and not get the service provider in trouble for not making me wear it. And so I put it below my nose, walked out, and then the district manager came like barging through the door and was like, I need to speak with you, and pulls me into a room and shuts the door.
Yeah, that's
Like
not
you're
cool.
in trouble. at
Exactly.
school?
Like I'm like, yeah, at the principal's office. I'm like, what the hell? And then she proceeds to pull down her mask jokingly and goes, I hate these things because I have mask knee, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you're pissed at me for not wearing a mask, and then you're going to pull me in a room and pull down your freaking mask? Like, I
Yeah.
should have been recording this. Like, it was
The
ridiculous.
way they went about it was not okay.
It was not
I think they
professional.
should have just said, listen, we can't provide you a service unless you.
And I would have walked
agree.
out. Been
Right.
like, cool, you
Yeah.
know? But I was already back there in the room with the door shut. It's like you really had to come knock on the door and interrupt the service.
and then
like,
come after you again.
Exactly. And I just looked at her and I said, look, I'm going to stop you right there. I'm going to pay for my service because I'm a service provider and I respect people's time and money. I got my service done. We're not going to have this conversation because I'm not ever coming back. So let me just leave and I won't be back. I won't, like, this will not be an issue. So.
You are real nice. I would have fucking laid that bitch out with some words.
Yeah. But at the same time, I feel like too many people get aggressive
She was
on
being
the no
aggressive.
mask thing.
That
Yeah,
was aggressive.
It was aggressive.
Do not
It
speak
was-
to me like I'm 5 years old. I'm your
yeah.
customer. If you want to refuse me service for what I choose to do, then that's okay. But do not mock me and fucking talk to me like I'm 5.
Yeah. And like
Fuck
when I
no.
already got the service done and I was literally leaving and had a mask on just to appease you and you still pull me in there to like get me in trouble. It's like,
If you
no,
came
no,
out
no,
without
no.
a mask on, I could see her being like that. But like, no manager should speak to anyone like that. It doesn't matter what you're doing
Yeah.
or what's going on. So
I
that's
know.
not acceptable.
Once they've provided you the service, then they've
It didn't matter.
exactly. But yeah, it should
All
have
I had
been
to do-
handled before you were taken back. Not, and that's the thing where I don't feel like people should be talked down to either. Like you should not be
Right.
talked down to. You should not. I should not. You know, like if I want to wear a
I've
mask,
been
if you
spoken down to
don't-
so many times since
Well,
all this started.
And here's the thing. It's like, I'm sorry, what happened to my body, my choice? Like most people that are pro my body, my choice, it's like, so you can choose to have an abortion, but I can't choose to not wear a mask. I can't choose to not get vaccinated. Like I get to choose what I do with this. So
You also don't get to choose what's being done to your own children. I heard after a certain age now, they're just like, yeah, we're allowed to pump your kid full of a vaccine.
yeah.
I cannot believe that. That is insane to me.
So, like in California, what do you girls think about this? Because yesterday, at the playoffs game, I believe it was the NFC Championship game.
none of them had masks on.
None of them had masks on, right? This huge game. And the governor of California was there, not wearing a mask. But if I go in to get my hoo-ha waxed, I have to wear a mask because of him.
Well, and
were
schools.
they outside?
Schools are all requiring masks too.
They were outside,
Public.
but yeah, schools are requiring it, business are requiring it. But yeah, it doesn't matter if you're outside and there's like thousands of people and you're like next to tons and tons of people. Like
I think they're requiring
all
like
of the
proof
governors
of
are hypocrites.
vaccination and all of that to get in too, right? Though
are
Is that-
they?
I think
They
that's what they're
probably
doing.
are.
But you know, I don't know.
No, I mean,
The proofs of vaccinations, I will say this. I know an owner of a concert venue, a big concert venue, and he personally told me that they do not check ID. So you could have someone else's proof of vaccination and you can get in. So half the people there are probably not really vaccinated and they just showed
You can
someone
also
else.
that's-
still
yeah.
carry COVID and pass it to people when
Absolutely.
you have a vaccine. So why
Right.
don't we show
Yeah.
negative vaccine test or negative
COVID test.
COVID tests? Because I feel like that would be a better way to do it.
Well,
Yeah.
but now this new strain, like you don't test positive for like days. So
Yeah.
It kind of would be pointless anyway. So just
We are all going to get it at some point, and unfortunately, this shit happens, and it is survival of the fittest. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like if I
It's in
got
God's
it, anybody
hands.
could get it because I don't even.
You're
like,
so careful.
I'm so careful. I don't even share drinks with my kids, my husband. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
we do. I'm so careful, and I got it. So I mean, you
Yeah.
know, it was bad, but it wasn't like, oh my god, you know, like the end
It's
of the
just
world.
scary for some people. Like my brother was a preemie and his lungs never fully developed. I am worried about.
Yes.
Myself, I was not worried about. I was
Right.
like,
Oh, you were
let's-
like a day, and you were fine.
I was like, give this to me so that I have the antibodies my daughter does and I can move on and, you know, whatever. I have a really great immune system, but for people that are, you know, extremely overweight or have just
Other comorbidities.
Autoimmune.
problems, yeah, that I understand could be scary, but like at this point, I feel like everyone's gonna get it at some point.
yeah.
So
and it's not to
hopefully
be
not, but
Yeah, it's not to be like desensitive. What's the word?
insensitive.
Insensitive. Thank you.
Or desensitized.
Insensitive. No, I meant insensitive.
Okay.
Like it's not like I know like it is real. People have passed away. Like it is sad, you know. It's
Right.
not to be insensitive because I'm sure there's
Right.
people listening. They're like,
know
like,
somebody that has passed away.
you know, and it's horrible. You know, people die all the time of different things, and it just sucks. You know, and it just, you know, I think it comes down to eventually like life has to somewhat get back to normal and we have to just allow people to choose what they want to do and
Not
live
force
our
it on
lives.
people.
For sure.
Yeah, I don't think putting things in people's body is okay. I don't think
Yeah.
that that's okay.
Yeah, that's a
Not
hard
even
one.
a little bit.
So yeah, back to like concerts and stuff. Okay, so have you guys been to a concert like since COVID? You haven't? You said you went to one.
I went to the Boots in the Park. It was an outside little thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been to one yet since like COVID times. I want to though. I want to get to a concert, but yeah, I don't want to be in the crowd part.
Yeah, no.
I
was
didn't like
contemplating
that.
this
We
one.
left. Yeah.
Like, gosh, like you have to worry about like COVID and shootings and people trampling over you to death at concerts now. Like, we can't just
Just a
go to a
different
concert
world.
and have fun. Like, what
Yeah,
the heck?
I have noticed too. Like, I don't know if I just speak for myself here, but ever since COVID started, I felt like people got really unfriendly.
Yes, and I thought it was going to do the opposite. Honestly, I felt like as a world, we were all going through something together, and we could all like kind of just be on the same team. And like within a month or two, it was like thing after thing
Well, then
after
the
thing.
division kept continuing
Yeah,
by
like,
like
so
all
bad.
of the riots and all
Yeah.
the stuff, and it was like, yeah, it's like this is a time when we should all be helping each other and like be coming together. And
It
you
feels
know,
very planned.
If you have
Yeah.
not yet, you need to listen to one of our first episodes called "Can We All Just Get Along?"
yeah, it's literally like if you're sitting here thinking like you totally don't agree with what one of us said, like
That's okay.
we don't
We don't
still
all
love you.
agree.
It's okay.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we don't even all agree on
No,
stuff.
we
But
don't.
we respect each other, and
Right.
I think that's what it all boils down to. Is that as long as you're not doing somebody else harm, then I think it's okay to have our own opinions and our own views on things. And
Yeah.
it's really sad. I feel like we have literally just been at each other's throats since 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
Yeah. It's been definitely a bummer, and people have gotten so used to wearing masks that they forget that they like you can smile at people.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can see your eyes still; they smile, But yeah, people just got so unfriendly, and I think a lot of people were going through really hard times with jobs and money and trying to keep their families safe, and they were worried and stuff. But it's just like,
But we were all going through it together.
I know, and it's just like, why do you have to be shitty to other people just because? I don't know. Can't we all just get along? Yeah, go watch the episode because
Yeah.
it's just what we just.
Well, and so travel too. Like I remember last year, spring break, like they were like basically all the college kids went to Florida and went buck wild, and then COVID started to like spread like crazy again. It's like we're coming up on spring break. Like, are people going to be traveling again this year? Like, what, I wonder what it's going to look like.
I agree with you when you said like life has to get back to normal at some point. Like I feel really bad for my grandma. She's like in her 80s and she has just been cooped up in the house for the past 2 years.
Aw.
And for me, I would be like, okay, fuck this. Like I'm out. Like I need to go out. I need to do things. I need to enjoy my life. Like, so I don't know. I mean, to each their own. And like you said, everyone gets to make their own decisions and like kind of do what they feel comfortable with for themselves. And I think that's like the big thing everyone's forgetting about, is just you do you and I'll do me. Like,
yeah. And
you know.
respect each other's opinions.
and
Whatever they want to do.
decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't really know what's going to happen with all of this stuff because there's a lot of people who don't want to get vaccinated for good reason. And there's a lot of people that are vaccinated. And it's like, so only the people that have a vaccination card can do anything anymore or spend money and
When
go
they
on
can
Even
vacation.
though
still
we
get it
all
and
can-
spread it.
Yeah, we can all transfer it just as
Yeah.
equally.
And the
So-
vaccine is technically only supposed to protect yourself. So I haven't understood why other people get so mad at other people for not getting it.
But yet
Like,
it doesn't, because my husband's vaccinated. I'm not. I don't mind saying that.
Yeah.
And we both got it equally, and that's the latest strains. But then,
Right.
like all my nurse friends and everything are like, well, the vaccine is it's like the flu vaccine. Like it may not be the right strain. So
and people are getting
it's like giving you
fired
this false
for not having it.
Yeah, it's giving you this false sense of security. And I feel like people that are vaccinated may even be a little more reckless, if we want to say, you know what I mean? Like if you are considering it like that, they
they
are
feel like
going out
they're-
feeling like, oh, I'm protected. I can go and do whatever I want. But yet they're actually probably harming people and spreading it more so than the people that aren't vaccinated because we are being careful.
Yeah. Well, and then there's companies like Carhartt. You guys heard about that, right?
Yeah, they're firing people.
No,
who
I don't. I saw your post, but I don't know what happened.
So yeah, I went a little off on that. Like a couple episodes ago, I was wearing my Carhartt beanie. My husband and I, we loved Carhartt, and we got a bunch of stuff for my son. They're kind of typically known as like middle working America, like Yellowstone.
oil rig people and they all their stuff's on Carhartt. Yeah.
Right? Like, yeah, especially
working
like
man.
cowboys, like you got your Carhartt jeans on, your Carhartt overalls, they sell them at Tractor Supply Co. Like,
Yeah.
so Anyways, we loved Carhartt, and even though I believe there was a mandate from the Biden administration that was like saying companies over a certain amount of people have to mandate the vaccine for the employees, and the Supreme Court actually overruled that. And
I
so
saw
companies no longer have to do that. Well, Carhartt took a stance and they said that they're still going to mandate the vaccine for all of their employees. And from my understanding, a lot of their customers are conservative America, and a lot of people are not happy about it. And I just think it comes down to, I hate using the term my body, my choice, because I personally am someone who does not support or agree with abortion. But in this case, it is my body, my choice. And I think there's not really too much of an argument that can be made for people in the medical field, because they're usually required to get like vaccines and stuff anyways. Like, okay, you're the frontline people.
All those vaccines have been tested for 10
Right.
years.
Right,
I have
that's
a
true.
lot of clients who have had to walk away from the medical field, sadly and begrudgingly, because they did not want to get the vaccine, which is so sad.
I think it's so wrong. Like, they were literally like heroes back in 2020, and now, and there's like already a shortage, and then now they're getting let go because they don't want to do this. I don't agree with that, but I feel like maybe if any kind of industry is going to be justified in like enforcing it, I could possibly see that. But Carhartt, it's like, you make clothes. Like, why are you taking such a political stance for clothes? Like, it just makes zero sense. So yeah, I went on like a rampage with that. And I like my son yesterday,
So cute.
his little Carhartt beanie, we put like an X through it. He's making political statements at 6 months old.
Like, I paid for this, but I don't represent it.
And you know what? I will just say this. Like, I put a video up, and then, I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot, but this girl like came at me on my Instagram and was like, you don't even know what it's like to be blue collar. I bet you've never even worked a blue collar job in your entire life. And I just,
The assumptions that get thrown
that's
around
what she
online are
said
so
on my
hilarious.
Instagram. All of you, please go on it and look at her comments. And I didn't comment back after that one because I'm like, there's no point arguing. Like, we don't agree, so let's just agree to disagree.
What
but
are
like,
her thoughts? I don't
I
understand. what she's
come
mad
from a
about.
blue collar
I'm like, does
family.
she
You
think
don't
you're
even know
bougie?
me, lady. Yeah, do you think I'm bougie and have all this money? Because I don't, and I work my ass off for everything that I've ever had. And my family, like, I grew up in Anza, California, like, and if you want to look it up, it's a small ass town because we had no money. So middle finger to you.
So wait, what's her problem? She's mad that you said blue collar people are the
'Cause I
ones
said
supporting
that-
Carhartt?
I
or-
said that most of their fan base is conservative. From everything I know and see, like, most of their fan base is conservative, and it's blue collar
would tend
America
to
and blah, blah,
agree,
blah.
yeah.
Well, and she's like, oh, I come from blue collar America, and everyone's socialist there, and you wouldn't even know because you've never worked a blue collar job in your life. And I'm like, you don't even know
What
me.
is a blue collar job?
How do you explain it? I mean,
It's
middle
like
America.
plumber. It's like right. It's like a plumber.
Construction
it's
worker,
Like
like,
construction
it's-
workers.
Would
You
a
make a-
hairdresser be considered blue collar?
No,
No?
I don't think so. I actually don't know the exact terminology of it or definition.
I would
Look it up.
assume that it would be.
But I thought blue collar was like farmers and like
Yeah.
middle America, like just not necessarily middle America, but she's gonna
Like
look
a
up the-
doctor, a lawyer, that's not blue collar. That or
No.
business. But like, I feel like
Let's see. We are looking up
I
the
feel
definition.
like hairdressers probably make like
I think it depends on the hairdresser because you can make a really good living.
obviously, yes.
I don't know if it's
Really?
really how
Okay,
much you make. is
blue
it?
collar relating to manual
That's what I
work
thought
or
it was.
workers,
Manual work.
particularly in industry. So
That's all Carhartt. I
Well,
mean,
that's
everyone that wears
literally
Carhartt
my-
overalls.
my
and-
stepdad was in like home construction stuff. Like
Yeah.
I came from that. Like
yeah,
that
well,
was-
fuck her. She's a bitch.
she is. Hope everyone goes and comments on your page now.
Oh man.
Sorry. just stop being mean to people. Like
Yeah.
who cares?
Yeah,
Like,
leave
Oh my
her
if I
gosh.
want to
alone.
cancel Carhartt, I can.
Speaking of being mean to people, did you that thing that I sent you guys the other day about the Miss USA chick?
Yeah,
That like jumped
What
off of some
happened?
60-story skyscraper thing
So
and killed
sad.
herself. It just shows people are not untouchable. It does not matter what they do for a living. It doesn't matter how many followers they have.
Wasn't
it doesn't
she, like,
matter
a
how
lawyer?
famous they are. She was a lawyer.
A lawyer,
is there
Miss USA, like
any why did she do that? Does anyone know? Did she leave a note or no one knows?
She left a note saying that she wanted to give everything to her mom. She wrote some cryptic thing on her Instagram saying something about finding rest and peace. And then like within a few hours later, she threw herself off of this building. And she even had like a story on her Instagram still like live after her death was announced. Like that's how quickly it happened. But I mean, words hurt. And people are so quick to throw out these hateful things, especially I feel like to people that they feel like are successful or famous or unreachable or whatever. And it's like there's still a person on the other side of that computer.
Yeah, we have feelings. We still read all of those comments.
Absolutely. And like, it's just so ruthless. Like,
She was gorgeous, and I don't understand how someone like that takes their life. I just don't. I don't understand.
it's
how
always the
anyone
ones that
does.
don't say that they're going to.
I'm just
Always the
like,
quiet ones.
like, did she have any close friends that like? Because I went to her Instagram and she looked like she had like she looked like she was very happy.
Absolutely.
But
Things
that's
like
everyone's
that
Instagram,
happen.
though, right?
My mind goes to like, was someone blackmailing her, or like what? Like something was happening behind the scenes. Like I don't know. Someone like forced it almost. That's what I. But I watch too many like murder shows, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I had some girl message me on Instagram the other day that reminds me. I don't get a lot of like mean messages. But she like messaged me and was like, I had posted like an Amazon like link to like this septum ring that I had. And she sent this like really rude DM that was basically like, I can't believe that you're like suggesting that people buy something that's so toxic for their body, like educate yourself. And that was the last sentence. And I responded to her because I saw it and I was like, and I usually don't respond to rude people, but I was like, are you like serious right now? Like you're just making all these assumptions that I knowingly am suggesting to put something like sell something to someone that I know is going to hurt them. Like I have it in my nose right now. Like if I knew that, do you think I would have it in my nose?
Right. You're like, I'm pregnant.
Yeah. And she was like, I can't believe like she came at me and was like trying to backpedal and say that she wasn't like being rude about it. And I'm like, you literally said educate yourself. And like made the assumption. She was like, well, you know, I met you at a photo shoot a long time ago and you were super nice. And I'm just, where is this coming from? And I was just like, do not play the fucking victim right now. You just sent me a rude ass message and like didn't expect my hormonal ass to like be a bitch back. Like, and so she was just like, I sent her a voice text message because I was driving. And so I was like, look, like you can't backpedal your way out of the fact that that was a very presumptuous, rude message. Like you literally said, educate yourself and said, that you assumed that I knew all about the stuff that's in this like little $7 septum ring because I was in the tattoo industry. Like I'm just supposed to know what the shit is in this thing. And I was just like, I stopped responding to her, but I just basically sent her a voice message and I was like, you have to understand like how I get people coming at me in my DMs sometimes. Like,
And that's called jealousy. Right there. I'm sorry, bitch. You're jealous.
yeah, she was. And so I told her, I said, you know what would be a really nice way to get your point across is if you sent me a link so I could educate myself and read about what you're talking about. Because right now you're just being insulting and I have no idea what you're even talking about.
Yeah.
Well, maybe people should not be like, hey, educate yourself. Because to me, that just means that you don't know what you're talking about and you want me to do the work. If you know something I don't know, then tell me. And tell me in a polite, non-confrontational way.
Right.
And let's have a conversation.
Say like, hey, I'm not sure if you knew about this, but just wanted to let you know.
Wanted to
like,
bring this to your attention.
if it's something that is important to you, just want to let you know what you do with it. That's up to you. Like,
I gave her that example in a voice text. I was literally like, hey, I just wanted to give you an example here. Like I did a video all about Shein. I put a lot of work into it. And then I had a bunch of people, I shouldn't say a bunch of people. There was like 4 people that commented and 2 of them were like very nice, just like that. Like, hey, you may not know, like, you know, people think that just because I'm on the internet, like I know everything about things and I should know that.
or that it's your responsibility to know everything.
I'm a
It's not-
human being.
We have lives.
So I told her, I was like, hey, so I said, hey, you know, a good example of like getting someone to listen to what you have to say is like, I did a Shein video and I had 2 people that were like really nice and they like sent me links and they were like, you may not know this, like check it out. And I was like, thank you. And I did. And now I don't buy Shein anymore. And then I had a couple people that were like, shame on you. You're awful. You'll do anything for views. And I was just like, whoa, what? And it just made me want to be like, fuck you and move on. But with the other people, I was like, oh, let me research this and like figure it out. Like there's kind ways to speak to people and like get your point across. Like, And then don't backpedal after you said educate yourself in a DM to me. Like, don't. No, fuck you. Fuck off. Fuck right off.
So that's how we feel about it.
Getting hot over here. I didn't put you there. Thanks for listening, you guys. Sorry if we bored you with more COVID talk, but yeah.
All right. Be safe out there, guys, with concerts and COVID and everything.
Make good decisions. Be nice to people. Okay? Okay.
Bye.
Bye.